Hi everyone, this is Kristi, and I just decided that I would make a quick video on how I make my scarf so that you guys can do it too. It's pretty easy. All you need is some yarn and a crochet hook. I'm going to be showing you guys today with this kind of yarn. It's Vanna's Choice, Lion brand. Not sure what the color name is, but it's pretty. It's got these flecks in it. And so I'm making a nice big chunky one with this today. I'm actually going to be using 3 of these because it's only 145 yards and I need about 300 to make a good scarf, plus to have extra. So I'm going to go ahead and use these. First thing I do is use my crochet hook. I only have 3 sizes. I just got this one yesterday because I wanted to make one with this bulky string that I used. It works great. But for this yarn, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to go ahead and use the pink one. It's my, I don't know if you can see it, my 5.5 millimeter hook here. Yeah, so let's get started. I unraveled this here. I could make it into a ball first, but I can't. On these kind of skeins, I can't seem to find the hole where you can just pull it out and it keeps raveling out like in the larger skeins, so I just unravel it from the outside. So it takes a little longer. But first thing you're going to do is make your little slip knot here, make your little loop. Pretty simple. And for those of you who aren't familiar with crochet, I'm not going to go too slow here. Hopefully you guys can just tell what I'm doing. I'm going to do about 100 chains. I never really know because it depends on how thick how tight my chains are and how long I want my scarf to be and whatnot. So I usually just measure it around my neck once I get a good chain going. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So you just put it through here, go from the front, grab it, and you do this. It's weird to be looking at the camera doing this instead of my actual hands. Keep it in focus. I don't have a video editing software on my computer, so I don't know how to edit videos so I could make this go quicker or, you know, fast forward it. So just bear with me. I'm not going to do the whole thing right now. I'll just do a little bit here. Okay, so now you've got a chain. You'd normally have, you know, around 100 or so. And when I measure on my neck, I always pull it tight because my chain tends to get tight when I'm done on this edge. So when you pull it, make sure you do it tight, and that'll kind of give you the length. So this obviously isn't a scarf, but okay. So what we're gonna do is this probably isn't the proper way of doing this, but since I am not a professional, I go ahead and skip this first loop we were just in, and I go right into the next one, and I'm gonna do a double crochet. So you grab this one here, and then you put it into the second hole, and then you do it like you're gonna do a chain, but you only bring it up once, and then you bring it through 2, and then do the other 2. So that is your first double crochet. Now this part is the hardest. This, when you only have this one little chain and you have to try to hang out of this with your finger. I like to hang out of it like this, where I've just got this, you know, you can kind of tell. So I'm going to do that all the way down through here. So the next loop is right here. So I'm going to put it in there. Go ahead and double crochet. Pull it to those 2 and pull it those 2. Now it is hard to hang on to this. This is where I got discouraged. When I first started making them, I was very frustrated because it took me so long to get used to the beginning. If you can get through this first row, you can do the rest of the scarf. I taught my friend Allison how to do it, and she was frustrated at first, and then after she got the first row done, it was just a matter of repetition. It's not difficult after that. So you can kind of start seeing this form where you've got these double crochets all the way through here. So we're just going to keep doing that. I find it helpful to, when you hold on to this with your pinky, and then I hold this like I'm holding I don't really hold anything like this. Really, I just hold my crochet hook like this. But it's comfortable for my hands, and then I can just put my finger behind the next loop, and then I can push on my finger, and then I know what I'm doing. And then when I do this, this is the only hand that moves. My left hand really just stays put. And make sure your crochet hook is facing down, and it's a lot easier to get it through the loops because you're not going to get hooked on the other strands that you don't want, either the loops that you don't want to get. So it's kind of nice. This little tip. So now I can actually hold onto this piece with my whole hand. It makes it a little easier. I have a bit of a cold, I think. Stuffy nose. Once you get better at this, you can kind of cruise along. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in focus for you guys. It's kind of hard to tell. Oops. Okay, so this is kind of like what you're going to do for the rest of this. And I'm getting kind of long on this video, so I'm going to just pretend that this end of this chain isn't here just for the sake of time. So basically what you would do when you would reach the end of this chain is you would chain one to single like this, and then you would go ahead and do it again, but this time you're going to go in this first loop here and double crochet in this, and there's going to be 2 strands on the top with your chain at the beginning. When I was going here, see how there's these two that are like intertwined together, and then there's one on top. That's where you go in. Well, this changes because it's no longer a chain, it's a double crochet. So you're going to put it through. There's 2 holes. There's a bigger hole between the double crochets, and there's one from the top loops. You're going to put it through that top loop hole. So when you put it through there, and it's going to go right in there. So there's going to be 2 strands on top for this. Before, when you're doing your first row, there's only going to be 1 because there's 2 on the bottom to make that, I like to call it, almost looks like a twirled edge, like a braided edge kind of on the edge. You can do it any way you want. If you want to do 2 on the bottom, just have the 1 on the outside, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter, but I just think it looks nicer with the edge like that. So you're just going to go ahead and continue to do this all the way down. And that's that. If you want to see, you keep doing it back and forth and back and forth. I usually go about 15, I call this a row, 15 rows. It does depend on how long your chain is going to be, how long you scarf. If you would want like a 1 wraparound cowl kind of scarf, then it's not going to, you could probably do, 25 or so if you wanted to. So, yeah, just going to work with the yarn. Like I said, for the kind of scarves that I make, you can see earlier in my blog, the ones that go around twice and they sit like an infinity scarf, take about 100 or so chains depending on how loose you like them, and then they're about 15 rows, so there's 15 of these. You can count them by, when you do this, every other time you do it, it's gonna look a little different because of the shading, because they're going in, because I'm not doing it opposite, I'm going still in the front, so you can kind of count by just kind of laying your finger. Or you can just keep count, but whatever works for you. So I'm gonna undo this, and oh yeah, if you screw up, don't be afraid to just pull it. The whole thing is just one big chain of loops, so you can undo the whole thing and start over. That's what I'm gonna do to get this scarf the size I want. So, okay, thanks guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Leave comments if you care to. Yeah, thanks.